program do not necessarily reflect or represent those of the owners, management, or advertisers of Pacific Telestations, Inc. This message has been brought to you by the stations of KUAM.
You're watching Buzz with Jess Lujan.
Good evening, Guam. I'm Jess Lujan. Welcome to this edition of The Buzz. Hey, exciting show tonight. Of course, my good friend, Mr. Tim Rohr, is here with us tonight. And, of course, there's got to be some new developments. That's why he's here tonight. Good evening, Tim. How you doing, man?
Great, thank you.
Yeah, good. You know, a couple of weeks ago, we communicated because I was reading. I'm a regular reader, a visitor to your blog. You know, I'm not a contributor, but I'm a reader. Okay, I'm a reader, and I like to read what everybody says. I like to read what you say. And the one thing that I got to say with what you put out, all of what you put out, people may challenge it, but you have documentation of everything you put out, and I would imagine so, because some of the things that you put out there are pretty damaging, pretty damaging, and you document it. You have documentation. This is not. I mean, Tim is saying this, but he's backing it up with some black and white. Yep. And so with this, the latest thing of course the RMS, the Redemptorist
Mater.
Yeah, Mater up there at Mater up in Jonia. I guess it's the final, I guess of documentation that was found, and I like how you stated this: the ultimate treachery, the Aprone deception. A bishop attempts to deceive his pope. Tim, please.
Yeah, well, I think I saw the other day I have almost 2,000 individual posts so far, and I've gotten pretty good with the titles. Yeah. You know, because the title is what gets people to read it.
And you're close to 3 million visits.
3 million visits, 20,000 comments,
sure.
7,000 views a day. Anyway, so here's the situation, Jess, is that when we discovered the clandestinely recorded deed, which basically gave control of the property the RMS occupies to Redemptorist Mater Seminary, a corporation separate from the Archdiocese of Ganya. The Archbishop knew he was in trouble. He knew he was in trouble because that's why he recorded it secretly in the first place. And we've talked about that, and if the readers aren't up to speed on what's going on, we won't have time to go through it all. But the very fact is that in order, church law, the church wants to protect you and me, okay, and wants to protect you and me from rogue bishops and pastors and stuff who might abuse the people. So the church has laws in place that, you know, they're not able to go outside of these things. Well, one of those laws has to do with what's called the alienation of property that belongs to a parish or basically a diocese. It's called patrimony. Okay, essentially it operates sort of as a trust with the bishop sort of being the trustee and the people being the beneficiaries. So the bishop would be the quote-unquote trustee, essentially in control of the property, but it doesn't belong to him personally. It belongs to the diocese. It's just while he's the incumbent bishop.
I know how that works. I'm a trustee, but I can't abuse that. I can't do whatever it is I please.
Right. So the church has laws in place. So when you're alienating a piece of property, if it's over a certain value, the church requires a bishop to get certain approvals. In this particular case, the property was valued far more than what the limit was. I think the limit at the time was $1 million. It's been raised to $2 million. But that property, as we know, the old Axion Hotel property, is worth at least anywhere between 40 and 70 million, depending on the market. So the church required the Archbishop, in order to alienate that property, required him to get the approval of the Finance Council, the College of Consultors, and the Holy See, the Pope. The Pope, can't alienate that property. So when we discovered that deed, and it showed that the control had been given to the RMS Corporation, the Archbishop needed to prove that it was not alienated, because he knew that he never got those required permissions. And so what we found out was that he had sent a letter okay, to what I call the donor's representative. I got to keep these people confidential.
Sure.
When I say the donor's representative, initially the $2 million donation that was given to the Archbishop for the purchase of that property for the purpose of a seminary for the Archdiocese of Agana. He sent a letter to the donor's representative. And actually, it wasn't just a letter. It was actually
a draft letter, basically.
A letter that
here,
included a draft letter that said "sign here," that the Archbishop wrote, saying that the donor intended that donation to go to the Redemptoris Mater Seminary and the Blessed Diego Institute. Okay, that wasn't true. It never was true. And so the donor said, "I'm sorry, Archbishop, that's just not true. We never heard of these before. We gave you that money for the purpose of a seminary for the Archdiocese of Agana, and you know, just didn't sign it. It's not true." We were able to intercept the letter, found it, and basically made a post about it.
My understanding from what I read was that this was done. The letter was sent out. I mean, this wasn't sent out almost immediately after, you know, the gift, I guess, the $2 million gift, right? This was sent, what, 12 years later or something like that? And, and just after, I guess, the Archbishop found out that we were going to get the visit from the nuncio, I guess, right? They were out there to visit, so basically, for lack of a better term, I guess, cover his behind.
There you go. So the initial gift was given in 2003. So here we are in 2015, and the Archbishop's asking them to say this, and it's because of what I said earlier, is that we had uncovered that deed of restriction, which essentially gave complete control of that property to Redemptoris Mater Seminary, a corporation separate from the Archdiocese of Agana, and in effect alienated the property, okay? Which meant that he now is really violated the norms of canon law, and specifically violated the rights of the Pope. So that becomes an actionable offense. Now, Archbishop Apron knows that a Pope just can't take a bishop out. That there has to be serious cause. And so all the complaints and everything, you know, they may be here nor there as far as the Pope goes. But this is an actionable offense.
Now, that being said, that being said, and it's documented, and I guess what happens if something like this, if it's something actionable or something major, I guess that's a, you know, I guess for lack of a better term, again, a felony versus a misdemeanor, right?
Essentially.
And so if the Church or the Holy See, I guess, will want to say, hey, well, we'll bring these donors in, talk to them confidentially. Did you really do this? Make sure that you guys were, I mean, this is not what it was meant to be. So basically it's a deception. So if that was the case, and it's looking like that was the case, and it's something that's actionable at this point, why isn't any action being taken? And if this is again a mortal sin versus a venial sin, why are they not? I mean, as you said, they can't just take one out, but if it's something as severe as this, you know, almost immediate action should be required.
Well, first it has to be proven. So this is actually a civil matter. So it has to be proven civilly that the property was civilly alienated under Guam law. And it's interesting that the Archbishop went to get a legal opinion to cover his behind from a Denver law firm not licensed to practice law in Guam. Then published simply just excerpts of that particular opinion, and then said, if anybody wants to read the full opinion, you need to go to the Chancery. Well, I guess he didn't expect anybody to go there, but the concerned Catholics sent their attorney to go there, and they told him that he would have to come back the next day. And so he comes back the next day. He was forced to read it standing at the counter in the presence of a Chancery official watching over him, all 20 pages. Could not take notes, could not even write notes, could not take pictures, could not make a copy, could not do anything, And then as soon as the attorney was done looking at it, it was withdrawn from public view. Nobody can access it now. Now we know that if that opinion had actually exonerated the Archbishop, it would be published on his website. But the fact is that, in fact, there might be even an ethics violation. A firm not licensed to practice law in Guam actually rendering an opinion having to do with the Guam real estate transaction. So it has to be proven. Well, I can't get into it right now, but there is action underway to show that it, in fact, under Guam law, was alienated.
Also, so it again, you're saying in an actionable offense in this case, there might be some violation civilly.
There's two different things. First of all, the deed was not an illegal act according to Guam law.
Yeah.
However, so that's one, but it's an illegal act according to church law. Okay, that has to be dealt with there.
Yeah,
okay, but there's also the other issue that whether or not Archbishop Apparon actually violated the terms of a corporation's sole under Guam law. And violated the trust of the beneficiaries. That has to be examined.
And again, in which I guess you were the keeper, you were the trustee, and you know, and basically abusing your position as a trustee.
Right.
Anyway, Tim, hold on. I got to pay some bills. We'll be right back.